Alright, let's go with more FML wrestling action. My name is Jay Walker, and as always, bringing you the epic encounters of the Fédération Montérégienne de Lutte FML in the Quebec area. And if you're in the Quebec area and want to check out some live pro wrestling action, we urge you to head to FMLutte.com for much more information about when and where we're popping up next, because we are everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of everywhere, here's a man who has been everywhere. A 20-year veteran of the game. He now dubs himself the god of the Quebec wrestling scene. He is Johnny C. Oh, obviously with a moniker like his, he holds himself in high regard. But an underlying story here is the veterans from 20 plus years ago.
Johnny! Johnny! Johnny!
They have gone their entire careers without any documentation, any video of all the sacrifices and tribulations that they've made. Well, Johnny C is here to document. He's here to spread the word. And he's here to make a believer out of all of us. And that journey, that proclamation, begins tonight. He now has words with the official. Oh, a little offended here by the ring announcer stepping in. He's telling him to get down, leave. Making amends, getting him out of the ring.
J'ai même mérité mon surnom, le dieu de la lutte québécoise. Aujourd'hui, paie-moi respect, puis prosterne-toi devant moi.
Asking him to get down and worship the god of the Quebec wrestling scene. Will our official Mario here obey the commands of Johnny C? It looks like, wait a minute though. Emanating from the caves will be his opponent. Coming out of the wild country and into the squared circle. Derrik Butler. A little bit of a bear mentality with Butler, but he is going to have his work cut out for him with this savvy veteran with the deity complex. And you see the savvy skills of the veteran there getting out of dodge before Butler can get his hands on him. And listen to the response from this crowd here tonight. Two heavyweights going at it. Johnny C is going to test himself against the new generation of the Quebec wrestling scene. Johnny C, smart to create that distance, but it's going to slowly close in on him. Well, at first it was easy to get the people to follow his words, but after they seen the kind of man preaching the gospel, they don't believe in Johnny C anymore. Firmly on the side of Derrik Butler. And now, bell rings and we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. Heavyweight action here tonight, locking up like two bulls, center of the ring. Horns entrenched, and no one making a move, no one batting an eye just yet. They now circle, jockeying for position. Collar elbow tie-up, center of the ring once again. Johnny C with a much bigger height advantage over Butler, but proving to have no advantage as of yet. Johnny C, very braggadocious, very egotistical here, trying to get a chance going for himself. but the crowd not buying in to what he's spewing, at least not yet. Maybe he can prove himself in the ring, and with cheap shots like that, he's not making any friends. Now some solid shots to the jaw there, sending Butler no reverse instead. Johnny C coming off the ropes and eats a hip toss there for his troubles. Coming back in for a second dose and eats a lariat there from Derrik Butler. And Johnny C is in a ton of trouble in the opening seconds of this thing. Rolling back to the floor on his hands and knees now, begging maybe for a little bit of time out to recompose himself, to recollect himself, and to come up with a new game plan. And Derrik Butler came in fast there in the opening moments of this match, but we haven't even seen the ferocity that man can unleash in the ring. Johnny C once again, maybe perhaps trying to tame the wild animal that is Derrik Butler. Johnny C, here's the 6. Now at 7, having to answer a count of 10 to get back inside those ropes. Johnny C, there we are. Feet firmly planted now. Coming off the ropes though, trying to get a quick shot in. Derrik Butler having none of it, slamming the big man down. Shoulders down, not much of a pin though, and Johnny C has enough wiggle room to easily escape out of that pinfall attempt. But this is not going the way he wanted. Johnny C here, 20 years in the game, and when you take as many falls and as many hits as you do over 20 years of wrestling professionally, you try to count how many times you take more of those, because your body has its limits. And Johnny C looking to avoid any and all punishment in this matchup. But Derrik Butler knows how to bring it, no doubt about it, and he is gonna wait a minute there. Johnny C picked his spot, picking apart Derrik Butler on the apron, and now has him exactly where he wants him as he continues to lay in those strikes. Shooting Butler off the ropes, coming in hard now with a clothesline, center of the ring. Again, commanding this crowd, trying to get them behind him, but seeing the tactics he's willing to resort to. Now raking at the face of Derrik Butler. Johnny C, though, firmly in control of this thing now after a couple of cheap shots. Very much in control of Derrik Butler. He now drives that massive shoulder into the midsection and sternum of Derrik Butler, driving the wind out of his opponent so he can remain in control. And now has Butler exactly where he wants him, drops him with a body slam. Consider favor returned. Johnny C looks like he's got this one in the bag. Elbow drop now, again, center of the ring, on top of the shoulder, but left that left one exposed, and that's the one that Derrik Butler raises to escape a pinfall attempt once again. The best way to pin your opponent is having both shoulders pinned firmly with your body. Trap a leg, trap 2 legs if you can, and firmly cradle the neck to make it as hard as possible for them to remove their shoulders from the canvas. And it's going to be really hard to remove shoulders from the canvas if he's unconscious, and that's what Johnny C is planning to do right now as he continues to squeeze the oxygen out of Derrik Butler. But this crowd, they came to see live pro wrestling action as they try to will Butler on here. There we go, shoulders pinned this time. Butler still able to fight out of it though. Really had to twist his body though, really had to make an effort, really had to shoot his shoulders up there in that attempt. And again, Johnny C making him work just to kick out of pins, never mind mount any offense here. Johnny C wrestling a very savvy veterans game of professional wrestling match. Butler now really starting to feel the toll of Johnny C's plans. He struggles to get up to his knees, and that's exactly where Johnny C wants him and everyone in this congregation on their knees, worshiping at his feet. As the man with the complex drives Derrik Butler center of the ring, lacks the daisical cover again there, so Butler was again able to roll over very easily. Is Johnny C looking to torture his opponents? Trying to make them understand why he thinks he is the god of the Quebec wrestling scene. Because a veteran knows how to make a pinfall. A veteran knows to trap those shoulders, to hook those legs. He is simply toying. Make an example out of Derrik Butler as he charges in now, but Butler with an answer with that boot. Johnny C, one too many chances. And now dropped. Center of the ring with a strong slam there. 2 in. Oh, very last second. Johnny C able to squeak away there. Seemed like he was rocked from that slam. The wind driven out of him. Not paying attention. He almost let it slip and almost let victory slip away from him. As the bear is now on the prowl, it seems. Measuring Johnny C, center of the ring. Exactly where he needs him. Hand up high, looking to get in the clutches. He's got him by the throat. Oh, Johnny C, though, scouted it. And an ace crusher. And is that all it takes? It is. Johnny C scores the victory with a fall from grace for his opponent. And listen to this crowd. Seemingly having made a believer out of a few of them. And maybe that's what it's gonna take, ladies and gentlemen. The god of the Quebec wrestling scene, I'm not so sure yet, but a victory will begin to attract some believers. Folks, we thank you for joining us here in this great matchup. We've got plenty more, so make sure you subscribe. And don't forget, if you're in the Quebec area and want to see us live, the website is FMLutte.com. I'm Jay Walker. Thank you for joining us.